we talked about Bitcoin.
Yeah.
But you have another asset we're talking about before. Just a couple of blocks from here.
Yeah.
I interviewed the founder of Solana.
Amazing.
6 to 9 or 10 months ago.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Solana, because you love Solana. You're very bullish on Solana. And you also have this framework, 2 ways to win framework.
That's right.
For Solana. When I'm investing in Solana, I'm also making 2 bets at once. Number 1, that the stablecoin and tokenization infrastructure market will grow. Number 2, that Solana will win an increasing share of that market. It's kind of similar to the Bitcoin thesis, right?
Yeah.
Both seem like a good bet to me. Can you explain?
They both seem like very good bets to me, to be honest. So to take the tokenization and stablecoin market, I'm not the only one who thinks that's a good bet, right? The US Secretary of Treasury expects the stablecoin market to 12x over the next 4 years. The CEO of BlackRock, the world's largest asset manager, says every asset, every fund, ETF, stock, bond, real estate will be tokenized. Who am I to disagree with the Secretary of the Treasury or Larry Fink? I think they're probably right. So I feel very good that the tokenization market will grow 100x over the next handful of years, and the stablecoin market will grow 10 to 20x over the next few years. That's consensus. And then the second bet, that Solana will take a growing share of that. Look, Solana is a challenger in these markets. Ethereum's the dominant asset. I love Ethereum. It has the lion's share of the stablecoin market. It is the leading play on tokenization. But Solana is a legit competitor with an interesting technological differentiation. And importantly to me, it's extraordinarily easy to use. And the community has a ship-first attitude. And you can see it winning an increasing number of mandates. So it's behind ETH. I'm not saying it's going to catch up or match it, but I think it's going to rise up and be the legitimate competitor in this space, and we'll see how it sorts out. Right now, it's a tiny share of the market. And it's also a very small asset. It's like $100 billion asset. It's 1/5 the size of ETH. How often do you talk about Solana versus Ethereum? Do you do 5 to 1 ETH to Solana?
Probably much more, yeah.
Probably much more even.
Probably much more. You talk much more about Solana than ETH.
You may talk more about Solana and ETH, and yet it's so small. Like, I think...
Why?
It's newer. It was outside of the regulatory perimeter under the previous SEC. So if you were an institution building in the stablecoin and tokenization market during the Gensler era, your only choice was ETH. You couldn't build on Solana. It might be a security. It might be illegal. You wouldn't build there. That's only been released for a year now. So when it's newer and it had this regulatory cloud that's been released, of course it's going to be smaller, but it's catching up. Again, I'm not sure it will catch all the way up. Doesn't have to. If it doubled versus ETH and the stablecoin market doubled, it's up 4x. That's a pretty good return. Those seem like very reasonable bets that the stablecoin and tokenization market will double and that Solana relative to ETH could double as well. And that's a 4x if both of those happen. Those seem like good bets.
Without going too technical, there's a kind of a lot of sol insurance that some people, smart people, think is one of the... I mean, there was this chart saying, hey, look, Solana almost doubled in market cap in the last couple of years, but the price is kind of similar, right? At all-time high.
Yeah.
So as an investor, you actually need to understand that or take this into account.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? That's something that people don't necessarily understand when they invest in crypto. They look at the price of the asset, but they don't look at how much the market cap has been increasing and compared to like the past.
Yeah.
And realize, oh shit, actually Solana total market cap is worth 2 times what it was worth in 2021, but the price of the asset is the same.
Yeah.
200 or 250 or whatever, 300.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, that is an important piece to understand. You can mitigate some of that by participating in the staking. And you get roughly like 7% a year, right? We have an ETF targeting that 7% yield. And so that protects you to some degree. But for sure, it's not as fully diluted as Ethereum is. So that's part of the puzzle. But I still think the size of those other 2 bets overwhelms that probability. Even if it were all out and trading on the market, I still think it would have massive upside from here.
Why are you so bullish on Solana specifically when compared to other big blockchains like Ethereum, Binance Blockchain, or Avalanche? I mean, Ethereum, you said, is kind of like the gold for Bitcoin, right? So fair enough.
Yeah.
But the other ones that have probably some merit too, why specifically Solana for you?
Yeah. So for what it's worth, I'm bullish on the set of them. And the way that I personally invest is to own all of them. What do I specifically like about the Solana setup? I think ease of use is a killer app that's underrated by investors. Investors like to talk about throughput, and they like to talk,
TPS, which is like this is a kind of word that I actually hate on this podcast.
Of course.
Every time I'm here, what is this? Explain to your mom. Transaction per second. Who cares about this?
No one cares. And even something like centralization, which is really important, that is an important philosophical difference. It has long-term meaning in the world. But for an end user who's trading, who's on-ramping, ease of use is the killer app. And Solana is just easy to use, just dead easy to use. The more centralized element versus the diversified L2 infrastructure or even subchains makes it just very easy to use. And I think the market overlooks that. So one of the reasons I'm so bullish on it is I think the market isn't looking at one of its killer features, which I think will cause it to win an increasing share of the market. And I also think it's been sort of labeled with this meme coin only overhang because it was the center of that activity. And the history of technology suggests that even if like sort of jokes and fun things happen first on a network platform, that doesn't mean it doesn't develop into something very serious as well. So I think there may be a behavioral dismissal of Solana by some in the sort of traditional community that causes them to overlook it. And anytime you have those behavioral mistakes, and I'm seeing two in Sol, the meme coin thing, and then ignoring ease of use, that's sort of alpha in the market, in my view.
Absolutely. Institutional investors love ETFs and they love revenue. Solana has the most revenue of any blockchain. Therefore, institutional investors love Solana ETFs.
100%. They love the Solana story, right? You go to an institutional investor and you talk about Bitcoin and they're like, I can't touch it. I can't feel it. I don't know what digital gold is. What is this thing? You go to them and you talk to them about stable coins and tokenization, and that's in their wheelhouse. And then you say you have this relatively small blockchain that generates the most revenue in the crypto market that plans to be, internet capital markets where all stocks, bonds, et cetera, trade. And that is actually the leading place for stock tokenization right now. It's a really easy story, right? That's something they can get their heads around. It doesn't cross over into the crypto native divide. It sticks in the traditional realm. Revenues, dollars, stocks, bonds, Solana. That's an easy message. And then we get back to the size of the asset. You put a little bit of inflows into an ETF package, and they're chasing a relatively small supply of Solana. It just makes it, it's one of the best setups for an asset that I've ever seen, because you have this small constrained size, you have significant institutional demand, you have stable coins and tokenization, which are these really exciting stories. You put all that together and it seems like a winner.
You're saying Solana or Sol has one of the best setup you've ever seen.
In my experience in crypto, the combination of narratives that all point to Solana is extraordinarily strong. And I think that's why, our Solana ETF has pulled in a lot of assets despite the market being down. I think it's the most successful ETF launch this year. I just think institutions are going to want to get exposure to this.
We talked about Bitcoin kind of prices for the future. So let's try with Sol. Obviously, very difficult. What's the potential upside for an asset like Sol in 2026 and in the next 5 years? Or even 10 years? I would say 5 years because 10 years is probably too long to talk for an asset like that.
Yeah. Look, in 10 years, I think it could be $1 trillion asset. In 5 years, I think it could be $1 trillion asset. I think that's relatively easy to imagine with potential upside above there. It's hard to give a precise target, because it depends on the pace of growth on stablecoins and tokenization. It depends on whether Congress passes the Clarity Act. It depends on sort of crypto market cycles. But I think if you're looking over a few years, I think it could be $1 trillion asset. That's a 10x from here.
You're a CIO, so you probably understand how to invest wisely. How do you express your bullishness on Bitcoin and Solana as a percentage of your portfolio?
Yeah, so the vast majority of my portfolio is indexed, actually based on market cap. So I own more ETH than Solana. But to get back to the idea of how I run my personal portfolio, it's this core that is indexed, and then there's a satellite that's overweight. Right now, that satellite is overweight Bitcoin and it's overweight Solana. So net, I have more Solana than you would in a market cap weighted portfolio. But I still own a lot of ETH, and I'm still bullish on ETH.